Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning. Today, I want to tell you a story, but it is a special story. It's called a parable. A parable is a story that isn't just a story. It's a story with a special meaning from God. And God wants us to understand what a parable means, and he wants us to follow what we should do from learning about this parable. One day, a lawyer came to see Jesus. Now, he thought he was pretty important, being a lawyer. And he said to Jesus, "What do I need to do to gain eternal or everlasting life?" And Jesus said to him, "What have you learned?" And the man thought for a minute, and he said, "To love the Lord my God with all my heart and soul and mind. Oh, and also love my neighbor as myself." So then he asked Jesus a question, "And who is my neighbor?" And Jesus said, "I will tell you a story. There was a Jewish man who left his home, and he went on this road. It was the road from Jerusalem to Jericho. Now this road had a lot of twists and turns as it wound through the desert. And sometimes robbers like to hide. And in this day they did. They came out and they attacked this man and they beat him up. They took everything he had and they left him there in the ditch half dead. Not too long after that, a Jewish man, a priest, came by and saw the man in the ditch. And he just sort of shuddered and went on by on the other side. Not too long after that, another man came, a Levite, who was also someone who worked as an assistant in the temple and who knew the law of God. But he also just kept his head down and walked by on the other side. Didn't help the poor man at all. Well, along came a third man. This man was a Samaritan. The Samaritans were enemies at that time of the Jews. The Jews were careful not to have anything to do with the Samaritans. They thought they were better than them. But this Samaritan saw the man who was hurt so badly in the ditch, and he went over to him and he took what they used for medicine then. He poured some wine on his cuts and some olive oil and bound them up. And then he put him on his donkey and he took him to the next town where there was an inn, sort of like a motel that we might have today. And he said, "Please take care of this man." He gave him 2 big pieces of silver. They were very valuable, and said, "If this isn't enough money to take care of him, I will come back on my way and I'll pay whatever it needs." So the Samaritan went on his way, but he knew that the man he'd helped was going to be okay because he helped them. Well, then Jesus looked at the lawyer and he said, "Which one was the neighbor?" And the lawyer said, "It was the Samaritan." And this is why this story is called the Good Samaritan, because it teaches us that everyone, regardless of who they are, is our neighbor. And we are to show them love and mercy and compassion. Compassion means that we are going to help someone when they're in need of help. Sometimes help means that we can do something for someone else, maybe cheer them up. I remember taking my girls when they were little girls and bringing some flowers to neighbors who were sick. I remember taking some things from our garden, zucchini and tomatoes, to a neighbor who needed things like that. I don't know what you can do to show that you love your neighbors, but I want you to think of something, and I want you to do that so that you show your neighbors that you are a child of God, one who loves God and one who loves their neighbors. I hope to hear about some of the things that you do. Have a happy day, and remember to be a good neighbor.